I'm Jennifer Beeston. So if you're buying a home and getting a mortgage, or you're thinking of refinancing, a lot of times you'll hear lenders use the word point. And this is usually a word that you hear when you're trying to consider, should I buy my rate down? So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to explain what points are and a simple calculation you can do to see if it makes sense to buy your rate down. So the first thing is a point is 1% of the loan amount. So if your loan amount is $200,000, 1 point would cost you $2,000, okay? Now to be perfectly clear, I'm talking about discount points right now. There are origination points that lenders used to charge, but I don't know that many originators are still charging points because there's so many that don't, like why would you? Anyways, so discount points. So $200,000 loan, 1 point is $2,000, okay? So let's do an example. You're gonna be getting a $200,000 mortgage. You can get 4.5% interest with no points or 4.375 with half a point. Okay, so the first thing is, what's half a point? Well, 1%, 1 point, is $2,000, so half a point is $1,000. So the lender's offering you a slightly lower rate for $1,000. This isn't a fee that you pay multiple times or every year, it's a one-time fee. That's very important, okay? So the way you figure this out is you're gonna get the principal and interest payment for each rate. So I took some notes. At 4.5, that would be 10, 13, 37. And then at 4.25, it would be 983.88, okay? So the payment difference between those two interest rates is $30 a month, okay? So what you do next is you're gonna take the amount that it would cost to get that lower rate, so $1,000, and then you're gonna divide that by the payment amount, divided by 30, and then you're gonna divide that by 12 because that represents 1 year, okay? So divided by 12. So it would take 2.78 years for buying this point to make sense. Now, if you plan to have this house for 10 plus years, it makes sense to get that point. If you're thinking you're only gonna live there for a year and move, it probably doesn't make sense. Now, it's important to do this equation because sometimes people get psychologically really tied to one rate. And they're like, oh, I don't care how many points, I just want this rate. And sometimes it makes 0.0 sense. So for instance, if you're gonna pay $5,000 in points, okay? And let's say the payment difference is $8 in the payment, because seriously, it can be that little depending on the loan amount. And that's over 12 months, 52 years. It would take 52 years to pay off that cost. So if it's gonna take 52 years, your loan is only 30 years. Like buying that, paying that amount of money to save $8 is crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a link to a blog that you can go to that will have this equation that you can do, but it's super easy. Now, if a lender's telling you, oh, well, a point isn't 1% of the loan amount, they would be crazy and wrong. So 1 point is 1%. Lenders are not always going to quote in full points. It could be 0.2, it could be 0.375, it could be 2 points. You know, there's a whole myriad of different things it could be. Now, one last important thing for you to note, points change every day. Not the cost of them. 1 point is always 1% of the loan amount. But what can change is the rate that you get for what you're buying in points. So a lot of people assume if I buy 1 point, the rate goes down 1%, right? No, totally no. It's dependent on the market, what the margins are, what the market's doing, okay? So if for instance today I was quoting you 4.5 with no points or 4.375 with half a point, and you call me tomorrow, there's a very good chance that I wouldn't be offering you the same exact rates and point structure, because just as rates change every day, so do the points associated with them. So if you get a quote on Monday, it's not guaranteed on Tuesday. You need to remember that with points, with rates, it's a very important thing to know. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to get calls and questions, and I will have a link that will give you the math so that you can do this yourself so you're not relying on a lender to tell you if it's a good idea. Thanks for watching.